Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
Yo, what's going on? I am Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster.
That's right, and you tuned into another episode of the Viewers Anonymous podcast where we give you our very own reviews and takes of movies and TV straight out of Hollywood. What's going on with you, my guy?
You know what, man? I might, we had to push the pod back a couple of days, you know what I'm saying? Because they had the whole little thing, you know what I'm saying, at my high school, for the people that don't know, you know what I mean? Back when I was on the field, you know what I mean, we had won a state championship my senior year. So they did a little celebration joint, a little 20-year anniversary of our state championship.
Mm-hmm.
So they celebrated us down at the field and everything, and it was a good night, man. Was able to see a lot of the old guys, brought the boys with me, and they was able to see, a lot of dudes that I played with, and then like my son, cause like it was like more of a celebration of like all of us, like the band director, like he was down there, like the coaches was there, and like some of the cheerleaders was there. So like one of my sons was looking, and he was like, "Damn, like who's that girl?" And I was like, "Oh, that's such and such." He was like, "She played." I'm like, "Nah,
Hey,
man." I said,
that's not a wild question to ask.
It's not, because he said, "Did you ever play with girls back then?" And I was like, I never did.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started recreation football, there was a girl that played like in our league, but she just wasn't on my team.
Yeah.
But so I was just like, nah. I was like, they just, it's like a celebration of like that of everything. So it was like she was a cheerleader, and so like a couple of cheerleaders showed up or whatever, and like obviously some people brought like their wives and and stuff like that. But nah, man, it was cool to go back, because I haven't been to like one of my school football games in a while. I felt like I've been bringing them a lot of bad luck. Like it's like every time I would go, they would lose. So I was just like, man, I was just gonna go ahead. One year, dude, these motherfuckers undefeated in the playoffs. It was like the second or third game in the playoffs. They're like 12-0 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I go to one game and those jokers lost.
That's crazy.
So I just I've been trying to stay away, but nah, it was cool. It was fun though, man. It was a fun little time, man. So broke the ring out. You know what I'm saying? Ain't took that joke out in public in a while. So it was a good old time though, man. So it was a good weekend, man. How about you, man? How everything been?
Well, I wasn't celebrated or nothing like that, you know what I'm saying? So, congratulations to you, you know what I'm saying, once again, it's always dope to, be working with a champion. Man, but I had a pretty normal week, bro. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my little cousin Jayla, man. This week was I believe it was Thursday. Thursday was her 5th birthday. You know what I'm saying? So we went to go celebrate her birthday this weekend. And we kicked it. She enjoyed herself, man. She had a blast. She got to kick it with all her cousins and stuff like that. So spending some time with family, man. That's pretty much all it is. Just enjoying life, bro. You know what I'm saying? Kicking back and laughing. Did some work while we was there as well. My cousin put me to work. He was like, "What's up, man? Let's make a couple of these videos." So you know what I'm saying? I was behind the camera this weekend too. So everything was pretty good, man. It was a real good week.
That's good, man. That's great. That's great to hear, man.
For
We both had a action-packed weekend, I would say.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was definitely action packed. If you ever been in an arcade full of kids, it's ain't nothing but action.
Hey, listen, my whole Friday was action-packed, man. I ended up having to leave work early, man, because my
Yeah.
son busted his chin at school, man. I had to take him to the doctor to get 5 stitches, yo.
Man. Hey, speaking of action packed, so we got to the arcade, right? And there's an area that has like they have an area where it's like bouncy houses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 2 big bouncy houses, and like right in the middle of it is like a little play area for like, like babies and what I'm saying, like toddlers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what I'm saying? We all getting up there. We finally, convening with everybody. We meeting everybody up, everybody getting back. And So my cousin, his girlfriend is, I think they from Cincinnati, or they might have just lived in that area. I know her family is from Mexico, but I think they moved or end up coming to Cincinnati or whatever. But so we all meeting up, like they introducing families and everything. This is the first time like we actually get to meet, you know what I'm saying, some of her family. And so, you know what I'm saying, we talking and all that. So it's bouncy houses over there. And then my cousin like, well, we better take her to the bouncy house. So I'm like, cool, come on, let's go over there. So we all walking over there and everything. They going in there. And my son, he ready to do everything. He don't care about nothing. Hey man, I'm about to go in the bouncy house. I'm like, man, I don't care. Go do your thing. So he go in the bouncy house, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling him, like, watch your little cousin, make sure, don't nobody mess with her or nothing like that. Keep an eye on her while you in there. So he like, all right, cool. So they go in there, they playing, they doing their thing. Well, like 2 or 3 minutes after that, bro, two ladies come around the corner with this little boy, but they yelling at each other. so
Oh Lord.
so they going back and forth, and they coming to the lady that's at the front of the bouncy house thing. You know what I'm saying, to let people in and all that shit. So they talking to her, but they yelling and screaming at each other, and then they like yelling and screaming at her too. So she trying to calm the situation down. So one lady goes, babe, come here before I have to beat this bitch up. And this dude walks over. He got a beer in his hand. So I guess this is supposed to be his girl or his wife or whoever she is to him. Whoever they is, they intimate. So she get to telling him the story. So he now caught in the middle of it. So my man put his
Oh
beard
Lord.
down. He put his beard down. And the look on his face, the look on his face, bro, when his wife or girl, whoever she was, when she started talking to this man about what happened, bro, he just looked up like, why can't I get a fucking break? Hey, bro, I was sitting there watching that man, bro. I was like, man, I feel your pain, bro. I done been there, done that. God, dog, I don't miss them days. Hey, man, he was so distraught, bro. He was just like, man, he was over there having a beer. He was playing the game. Like, you could tell he like this was a time for him to really like unwind. Excuse me. This was a time for him to like really unwind and like, you know what I'm saying, relieve some stress, bro. This dude was like, bro, he was just looking up like, bro, we can't go nowhere without a fucking problem, bro. That shit just had me fucking crying. But basically, needless to say, the reason why they was arguing was because the one lady who had her son in there, her son was getting stumped out in the in the so
No.
so we sitting there or whatever. So my cousin, you know what I'm saying, his daughter in there and my son in there or whatever, but they seen everything. They seen the whole thing. So when the people came, because the lady had to call, you know what I'm saying, like securities for like to get an incident report and all that. So my cousin come over there. He was like, bro, you see them arguing? I was like, yeah. I said, bro, she caught her husband over there and everything. So we talk about it. He was like, yeah. He said her son was in there getting stumped out. I said, what? He said, yeah. He said the other lady's kids was in there stumping this nigga out. And I was like, wait a minute, bro. I said, getting stumped down the bouncy house. I said, wow, bro. He was like, I know, nigga. He said they was stumping him. He was bouncing back. Bro, I started, hey, bro. I started fucking crying, bro. I said, hell nah, man. You talking about fucking comedy, bro? I was like, bro, that's
Oh
crazy.
man.
He was like, he said, bro, he said, I'd have run up that motherfucker like, get your ass up and fight back. That shit was funny as fuck, bro.
Oh
That shit had
man.
me fucking rolling, man. That nigga said he was getting
Hilarious.
stumped out, bro. I said, wait a minute, man. I was like, bro, for real though, getting stumped out in the bouncy house is crazy.
It
I don't know if
really
you've
is.
ever been in a bouncy house, but imagine a nigga stumping you out on a trampoline, but it's like 10 times bouncier. That's what getting stumped out in the bouncy house is like.
No, I've been in the bounce house. It's been a long ass time, but
Yeah,
that is a wild concept to get stumped
that's
out in there.
hilarious, man. But that I forgot to tell you about that shit. That shit happened, bro. I'm talking about, bro. That whole day, niggas was making jokes about that all day long. So,
Hilarious.
yeah, man. But before we move on, man, we got to move into some somber news. Um, we got to give, man, some rest in pieces out.
Oh yeah, two
Um,
noticeable ones.
yeah, first and foremost, rest in peace to Richard Roundtree, the original Shaft. For those who are unfamiliar with his work, you know what I'm saying, I tell you to go out right now, and if you get a chance to Google or get on YouTube and look up um Shaft from the 70s and 80s and stuff like that, and watch any of Richard Roundtree's works. He's most notable for Shaft, but he's been in multiple films. He was a part of the black exploitation era. Um he's really responsible for a lot of the imaging of the black action hero during throughout the 80s and some of the 90s as well. So rest in peace to him, and prayers and condolences to his friends and family. Excuse me. And also rest in peace to Matthew Perry, man. um Most notable being a cast member of Friends. um he played not Joey, he played Chandler. um
Mm.
he was Chandler in Friends. Ended up leaving Friends and having a very good career. Did had a lot of work after that. But most notably, definitely Friends. I'm talking about he's definitely going down in sitcom history for sure. Um, at one point in time, it was noted that every cast member was making over $1 million an episode. I don't
That's
know how
crazy.
true that is, but I've heard it enough to know that if they wasn't making a million, they was at least making somewhere up in like the high six figures. But
Yeah.
um a lot of work came out of that show, and Matthew Perry was one of the ones who had kind of got the brunt of it. I know Courtney Cox was one. Of course Jennifer
Jennifer
Aniston.
Aniston. Yeah.
Yeah, but Matthew Perry definitely he didn't go on to do a lot of movies, but he did go on to do a couple extra TV shows, and then later on in his career it kind of picked back up, and he was getting back out there as far as TV shows have went. Which actually some of them, the one who played Joey, I know he's out there still. Of course Jennifer Aniston is, you know, doing her thing. I haven't heard from Courtney Cox in a while. The lady who played Phoebe, I don't know her name, but I haven't.
Lisa something. Lisa. Dang. Crusoe or something. It's something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Something crazy.
I haven't heard from her in a while. And then the dude that played what's the name?
Ross.
Ross. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a long time either, but I know Matthew Perry, the dude that played Joey, Courtney Cox, and Jennifer Aniston for sure. Were constantly doing something. They were constantly getting work. So rest in peace, Matthew Perry. Prayers and condolences to his family too. Usually we do this towards the end, but I figured we could try to start getting this out early because I think
Yeah.
it's important to show that love to those who passed on. So
Yeah.
now that
So
we got that out the way,
yeah, but definitely though, man. In honor of I mean, really both of them. We could do both of them,
yeah,
um, but if y'all want to laugh,
hmm
if y'all have never seen the whole 9 yards
oh yeah,
with Matthew Perry and Bruce Willis,
hmm
that might be, yo, that shit is so funny, my guy. I'm
yeah.
talking about like I feel like it's a movie that was kind of slept on, but
You know
like
what? It was like when it first came out, I feel like it didn't do as good, but like as time went on, it was one of those movies that definitely kind of caught the eyes of people who, you know what I'm saying, like really fuck with like Bruce Willis, or if they were fans of Friends or whatever, you know what I'm saying, like they definitely end up catching it. But like I remember it used to come on TBS all the time.
Yeah.
And that's when it really picked up. That's when it
Yes,
really, really.
hilarious. They did a sequel called The Whole 10 Yards, but The
Yeah.
Whole 9 Yards was way better. And I mean, the cast was crazy. Because I mean, you added Amanda Peake in there. What's my big dude name? Clark Duncan, something Clark
Michael
Duncan.
Clark Duncan.
Michael Clark Duncan was in there. The lady from Species, I forget what her name is, blonde lady.
I don't know what her name is either. I just remember
Patricia Arquette, she was in there. Like, I mean, it's a lot of noticeable people in there, but Matthew Perry did his thing in that. Boy, I'm talking about hilarious.
Yo, that's
But
crazy that this nigga worked with two Arquettes.
yep. Well,
Yeah, Courtney Cox was with David Arquette around the time of Friends.
yeah, that's right. Because
Yeah.
Scream came out. They still was Friends was still going when Scream came out.
That's when Friends was just popping.
Yep.
Yeah,
This is true.
Worked with two Arquettes. That's crazy, man. So this is one of our favorite segments, man. This segment is where we give you extra I don't want to say homework, but extra tidbits to go check out, man. It's always somebody somewhere saying what is there to watch on Netflix, or what's good on Hulu, or I always look online and see somebody talking about what's some recommendations to watch on something. So this is pretty much where we give you those recommendations, where we give you those, extra handouts, man. This is more like the trailers when you go to the movies, man. We call this movie watching. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. What we watching?
What we watching?
All right, bro. What you got?
All right, so I got 3, and I'm gonna run through these, so I won't try to be too long. But like one, I done had on here for a while, man. This I've been on here for about 3-4 weeks, but just haven't had a chance to get to it. And so the first one I got, they released it on, oh my gosh, I think it's on Prime, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a movie that's done. A married couple. They did this movie together. Angela Bassett and Courtney B. Vance. Excuse me. They did a movie together. She's not in it. She's just like kind of like, I don't know if she directed it or she was just one of the producers. But Courtney actually starred in it, and it's called Heist '88, and it's based on a true story where this was a black bank heist. Where
wait. Did they heist a black bank, or was it black
no,
people?
no. They heist a bank by black people, but
So
they
black
robbed the
people-
bank by not even quote unquote doing it. So back then, before computers became a thing in the bank, the way they would do wire transfers is they used to have these people who would actually sit there. They would answer the phone call, and they would get a confirmation code to like send money. You know what I'm saying, to certain accounts and shit. So Courtney B. Vance, he was a guy, he was actually like on fucking house arrest, like he was already being investigated over some shit. And he got he had this nephew where his nephew dad told him, don't fuck with my brother. Like, whatever you do, don't fuck with my brother. But at the funeral, he came up to him saying that he needed 10K for something, and he knew he could get money. So he ended up telling his nephew to bring like his friends from the bank or whatever, and he talked them into having the money sent to an account for them instead of sending it to. So they didn't go in there guns blazing. This was like an inside job type of a heist, but I ain't gonna tell it what ended up happening. But you know what I'm saying, it was an alright movie. Like shout out to Courtney and Angela Bassett for putting that together. But like I said, I believe it's on Prime. I never forgot because it was a couple of weeks ago. So the other movie that I got, this movie was released on Hulu, and I only watched it for one reason and one reason only. So this movie is called Cosibo, right? It's on Hulu. And the only reason I watched it because it got Eva Green in it. And if
Okay.
y'all don't know who Eva Green is, like most people probably know her from one of the Sin Cities. I forget which one she was in. I think she was in the second one, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But I know her from one of my favorite shows. You know what I'm saying? They had like 3 or 4 seasons, and it's called Penny Dreadful. And she
Okay.
fucking murdered that shit. And so what this movie's about, so she is like a clothing designer for a kids clothing line. And then she ended up becoming like she ended up I think the girl did it to her first. Like she like so there's this Filipino girl who like was born with like these special abilities to like either heal people or hunt people, all types of little stuff. Like she know how to put together these recipes and fuck with people basically. So
Mm-hmm.
she ended up started having visions of stuff, and so she was telling her husband that she needed help at home. So they hired this Filipino girl to like be like a live-in nanny and shit to like help with the kid and cook them dinner and all types of stuff like that. Well, the lady started like seeing like dogs that ain't there and started like seeing all this little stuff. So the Filipino lady's like, "Look, I was born with these abilities. I could do like all these remedies on you to,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, to help you, get away from all the stuff or whatever." Well, what the girl was actually doing was she was really making, what I'm saying, her life a living hell, basically. Come to find out, the company used, surprise, surprise, a sweatshop to get all of the clothes done and shit. But
Oh.
she don't remember that the Filipino girl worked there.
So this all a setup.
This is all a setup.
Oh, nice.
It's all a setup.
Nice.
Because all I'm gonna say is it involves a death of a child. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
So yeah, so this was all a setup, but it's in the horror section.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, what I'm saying, because like she ended up like, dude, there was this one point where this big ass fucking beetle looking thing was crawling up her one, and it was fucking crazy because like it was like this, like she had like this one little bug thing and she kept it like in this little container thing,
Mm-hmm.
but like the other lady was having a dream one night, but that motherfucker was big as fuck, and it was like crawling, it was like grabbed her face and shit, like it's wild ass shit.
Oh, man.
But so that's the other movie I watched. It's on Hulu. So the other one I watched is actually a Hulu movie as well. I've been on Hulu a little lately, and it's called Cobweb. Now this movie got my girl. It got my dude who plays in The Boys. What's about who played Homelander?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
what you're talking about.
yeah, but he's in it, and why is my girl name slipping my mind? You would know by me saying this. She's in your joint. Now you see me too. Brown hair, blackish brown hair girl. She's funny as hell. Like everything she's in, like she's funny as hell.
It ain't Ela Fisher, is it?
No. Well, anyway, so this movie is basically about, it's a horror movie, and like so her son like would hear these voices at night and shit, and like it sounded like the noises are coming through the walls. And so this person would like talk to him, and what ended up happening was the boy ended up listening to the voices that he was hearing, and so he ended up. There was an incident with a kid in school who had like took his pumpkin and like fucked this shit up or whatever, and so then like the kid parents made him come to school and apologize and like bring him another pumpkin and shit, but like the voices in the wall told him to like make that boy fear you.
You talking about
Lizzie Kaplan.
Lizzie Kaplan?
Yes, Lizzie Kaplan. So yeah, she's the mother in it.
Mm-hmm.
So the voices told the boy basically, fuck that. You need to make him respect you and all this type shit. So this motherfucker done pushed the little boy down the stairs and broke his leg and shit. And so But what ended up happening was we come to find out the walls, the person that he was hearing in the walls is actually his sister that died. That he didn't know anything about her and shit. So she was like kind of like haunting the house. Well, she was like, well, I don't. Maybe she wasn't her sister, but there was a girl that was missing, and she ended up being dead in the backyard. So she was like basically like hunting the house or whatever.
Yeah.
And,
in the backyard.
And so she was telling. So the boy is like scared of his parents, so he ended up like fucking poisoning their food and shit, to fucking kill their ass and shit. But it was a wild ass shit, man. But so I watched Heist, and y'all, I may be wrong on this because I never forgot. But Heist '88, I forget what it was on, so I'm not gonna say what it was on. And I watched Cosibo, and I watched Cobweb, and both of those are on Hulu.
Okay. So the ones that I have, man, first and foremost, I watched The Nun 2. It's out on HBO Max right now. Lived up to it, definitely.
It
Shout out.
did, because I thought the first one was mid.
The first one wasn't mid, but I understand why it wasn't as good as it was supposed to be. I did think it was good though.
Okay.
Because it's really just it's a setup for this one for sure. So The Nun 2 is fire. It's out on HBO Max right now. If you haven't seen it, go see it. If you've seen the first one, then you know that they didn't get rid of the nun. You know what I'm saying? It's not over. And she's back with a fucking vengeance. The first scene, she kills a priest in the church. So that just lets you know.
She ain't playing.
Yeah, she with the shits. Picked this nigga up, made him levitate, set him on fire. Shit was crazy.
Damn.
With a little boy watching at that. No, I'm for real. The little boy he seen this shit. The preacher start, you know what I'm saying, like how they do the bone cracking shit, and then nigga arm spread, he get lifted up and just boom, he just bust in the flames. Little boy like, man, get the fuck out of there, sir. It's a lot of that in the movie. Get the fuck out of there. But what's dope is if you remember the little black girl from Last of Us.
I know you're talking about. Yeah, light skinned girl.
Yeah, she ended up turning to a zombie. She's in the Nun too. So yeah, check that out, man. It's pretty good.
Stormy something.
Yep. I believe she was also in that movie with Oprah or some shit like that. The one movie that I forgot what it was called.
Oh well, see, I know her from Euphoria. She's Zendaya's sister in that.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. They kind of look alike a little bit in a weird way.
Well, but that's what they actually did that shit right, because like they be fucking shit up because
that's what I'm saying.
Because in Euphoria they mixed. Yeah, and they actually passed for it, but you gonna tell me that Lakeith Stanfield is mixed in fucking Changeling? He got a white dad.
Speaking of Changeling, bro, I watched it. Fire, and I understand why his dad could possibly be white, because the nigga's not human. So at this point, it doesn't even matter what they is. That shit is irrelevant. But what was this? Oh, so my last one is it's a movie on HBO Max called Oracle, and it's about this girl who has she's like in college or whatever. Her and her roommate are you know what I'm saying, trying to find some money. She's trying to find jobs and stuff, and she's like this babysitter. She's doing like babysitting jobs. Her friend is waiting for her school check. You know how it go. But she can't sleep because she's having these nightmares. But these nightmares are about this little girl running in the field. And it shows you like little glimpses of what's going on, but it showed you like this little black girl running through a cornfield or some type of field. I assumed it was corn because it looked like corn. So then as she's running, she bumps into something and it's a body hanging. But then she looks back and she sees this house on fire or whatever. So, and then it cuts, and then, you know, the girl wakes up, so on and so forth. So she gets this job offer to come to this house, you know what I'm saying, to basically, you know, babysit or whatever. So she looking into it, she checking it out, she sees it, she like, maybe I'll look into it. So when she finally looks into it, she realizes that it's a plantation house. So so she automatically like, got me fucked up. This is not what we're gonna be doing, right? Well, as she's going to work, the lady that's there is like, yo, I've been hearing great things about you. You got great reviews. I know the owner. I came here to contact him about getting you, to work there. So she like, sure, I guess I come check it out or whatever. She like, listen, come meet the kids, blah, 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 blah. Everything will be good. So her and her friend after, they in the house talking and shit, and her friend like, wait a minute, you about to take a job at a old plantation house to watch some white kids? She was like, I know how it sounds, but she was like, I'm not saying I'm gonna take the job, but she said she'd give me $200 if I just come there. So she like, all right, girl. She was like, don't do something you gonna regret it. Blah blah blah. So she go there. You know what I'm saying? She get her money or whatever. So it's a dude that's like driving the Uber for her or whatever. So you know what I'm saying? He hitting on her. Cause don't get me wrong, she is fine. So you know what I'm saying? He hitting on her. He throwing his game. You know what I'm saying? Trying to do his thing or whatever. So he telling her like, look, don't worry about paying me. You know what I'm saying? I'll drive you back and forth for free. He was like, just let me get your number. Da da da. And he was like, and anytime you need me, you know what I'm saying, hit me up. I'll drive you around. It's whatever. So she go in there, she meet him. So she meet the kids. Now, if you're not paying attention, because it caught me off guard. If you're not paying attention, right? It's 3 kids in the house. The mom only introduces 2. Off rip. I had to watch this twice because I didn't pay attention to none of this shit. So the twist catch you off guard like a motherfucker. Basically, the house is haunted. And it's hunted by this old ass lady that was in the Civil War, or right before the Civil War, during the Civil War, one of the two, where I think it was during the Civil War, but they owned slaves. And so what ended up happening was it was a slave revolt on the plantation. And the one of the little girl that escaped was the lady's daughter's like friend or whatever. You know how they try to make it weird and shit. So it's the little girl's friend. So the lady kept telling her, you can't be friends with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not supposed to be friends with her or whatever. Well, basically they ran out the house. She tried to chase them. Come to find out, she ended up killing her daughter because she was trying to kill the little girl. Instead, she didn't kill the little girl. She ended up killing her daughter. And then right before she was about to get the little girl, the slaves that was revolting take her. They grab her and put her in this little weird ass like cellar room or whatever that they got under the stairs. They lock it up and take off the door handle and set the house on fire. Well, when she gets there, the house is called like something estates or some shit like that. So she like, I never heard of this plantation. I can't find it nowhere. Come to find out, when she looks at the pictures, it's called something totally different. It's like the Manningham plantation or something like that. So when they looking it up, then they seeing like it's a whole bunch of like bullshit ass atrocities and shit going on. And so basically, somehow the girl that's in college that's going to babysit, somehow she connected to all of this shit. Like, I guess she's supposed to be like the reincarnation or whatever. And it's in like a loop or whatever. So I guess every so many years, you know what I'm saying, they keep coming until one of them figure out what the fuck is going on to get them out of this. Well, the whole time she talking to this little girl named Blair, and Blair, she thinking that Blair is the lady's daughter. At one point in time, they on the phone, and she was like, yo, she's like, the boys are okay. I got the boys with me. She said, but I can't find Blair. I don't know where Blair is. Your daughter is missing. So the lady like, what? And she like, yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She was like, no. What did you say? She said, my daughter is, she's like, my daughter is missing. And she's like, yeah, your daughter is missing. I can't find her anywhere. I don't know where she is. She was like, I don't have a daughter. What are you talking about? And that's when everything clicked to her. So when that happened, she turned around and then see the little girl, but this time like the little girl got on like them old ass 1800s clothes, and then she got like a big ass uh wound and shit on her back with like all kind of blood and shit on her back. and then they show you what ended up happening. But it's a good movie. It'll fuck you up because like it's like a supernatural type horror movie.
Mhm.
Great, great movie. It was real good. I fucks with it, man. It's called Oracle. If you get a chance, check that out on HBO Max. It'll fuck you up.
Shoot, sounds
Definitely.
alright. I'm gonna check that out for
Yeah,
real.
it's pretty
Well,
good.
both of yours. I'm gonna check both of yours out.
Yeah, pretty good.
Gotta stay in my Conjuring universe. Gotta see
Oh,
everything in there.
definitely, for sure, for sure. Yeah, they've been holding it down, man. They've been keeping the horror genre alive for sure. So I definitely appreciate that. So continuing on, man, to our 2023 Fright Fest. Yeah, so we getting back into it, man. This week or this episode, I'm sorry. We have The Ring. Uh dropped in 2002. Dropped in 2002. This movie is about a cursed videotape that kills you 1 week from the day you watch it. Exactly 1 week from the day you watch it. It just so happened to fall in the hands of a bunch of group of girls of friends who watched it and ended up, of course, dying like the curse says. And one of the girls just happened to be the niece of a journalist who decided to somehow find a way to break this this super old curse. Um Somehow, some way. So rewatching this, bro, how did you feel?
Um, I felt good. I will say I had asked my son, my youngest, did he watch it, and he's going off on, oh yeah, it was stupid and it didn't make no sense and all this type stuff. And it made me think like rewatching it, I was like, well, when it comes to the newer generation, like the only reason it doesn't hold up as much is because for number one, like we don't get the Snow White screen no more. So they don't understand why that's even scary in the first place. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like we grew up in a time where like the poltergeist got us. You know what I'm saying? You see that snowy screen, you like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
let me go in
And that
another
motherfucker
room.
used to be loud as fuck when that shit used to cut on.
Exactly. You
Oh,
can have your TV on too, but that
that
shit loud as fuck for some odd reason.
motherfucker.
Man, it busts through the volume. So
Fact.
like as far as like that and actually VHS tapes and all
Mhm.
types of stuff like that. So like if you're not from our generation, yeah, it may not make as much sense and it might not be as scary, but you know, doing what we normally do on this pod, like going back and watching it, you know what I'm saying, with you know the things that I experienced in my life, like the ring had a time. Like that shit, when that shit came like a storm. Like it was super unordinary. It wasn't anything that I really remembered. Um, even the way that the movie even started was hard.
Mhm.
Um, Going back and watching it was really nice because I think that one of the things that it does is even though you don't see it until the end, you never gonna look at you never looked at your TV the same no more. You know
Fact.
what I'm saying? You see this
So
fucking girl crawl
the
out this
ring,
bitch.
the ring was so popular that Joe Budden used that shit in the Pump It Up video.
That's what I'm saying. And then you also gotta think of, and I think that this is another, and I asked him, I was like, the reason why you think it's stupid is because you've seen Scary Movie. Because
Probably.
Scary Movie, I don't remember which one they did
Yeah, they did the
when they
parody.
when they when they yeah when they did the parody of it. But I was like, yeah, so like when they made fun of it, it did take a little bit of it off of it.
Yeah.
But nah, the ring was like super scary. Like it even had me back then, like, okay, so I'm watching this shit. Like some shit gonna happen to me, and then the goddamn phone ring, and you like, oh shit, like nah, that shit was the I thought the story is what really made this movie good. I
Mhm.
think the story is very underrated. I think we get caught up in the visuals and the girl actually coming out of the TV, but like we'll get into it like when we get into the pod, but like you know what I'm saying, the stages. Like when you're seeing the stages of like after you get that phone call, like the whole shit with the
Mhm.
picture, your you know what I'm saying, your face is being all disformed and stuff.
Mhm.
I thought that the way that they put the stages together and also explaining the things in the tape, I thought they did a really good job with the writing. But going back and watching it, what was your thoughts?
Okay, so um I did something different this time. Um I went and watched the original movie that this came from. Partially because it was on accident and partially because um I thought that it would have been super dope to actually see the real movie, right?
Hmm.
So I watched it. Of course, it's in Japanese, and I had to watch subs. So that's for all my anime fans out there. So I watched it, and this shit is nothing like the Ring movie that came out in 2002. First and foremost, um, because the thing about the thing about the Ring, which, like you said, it's a disconnect, especially for like the newer generation. Which and kind of should have been a disconnect for us too, only because this movie came out. We went to go see it in theaters, and then it came out on DVD. There was no,
Now, true, true, but I ain't gonna lie, and y'all can judge me.
yeah,
I had some VHSs back in 2002,
no.
2003.
Everybody still had VHSs. I'm just saying, this movie came out on DVD though. That's what I'm saying. Like, we should have also been kind of disconnected from this shit as well. But the I think it was the fact that the DVD was so much like the VHS that it really wasn't that much of a transition, right? And so it would have been the same thing if they did like been like, oh, if you watch this DVD, you know, you da, da, da. Like it'd have been the same fucking thing. But I thought that using the videotape was dope because first and foremost, it brings a nostalgic feel for this movie. Also using the you know what I'm saying the floor set model television and you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying having the VCR and you know what I'm saying hearing the warm up of the VCR, hearing the tape, you know what I'm saying moving in the VCR like you when all those things hit your senses, it brings you back to a different time and you can relate to hearing all of that because you've heard it so much throughout your life. So when this is actually happening, I think this is why it's not such a far-fetched thing of you looking at your TV in the middle of the night when that shit hit the fuzzy screen and you like, oh, it's time to turn this motherfucker off. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
that's the type of thing, you know what I'm saying, that I appreciate about this movie because it does, like you said, the story is good too, but it does way more than just try to scare you. It really appeals to like your senses. It appeals to your psyche. Like this shit really is trying to scare you. Um, and then not only that, the original movie did the same thing. It just did it in a totally different way. And so the ring would be like a not like a premonition, but like a it would just be something that they would see. And when they seen it, you know what I'm saying, the same things would happen to them, like, you know, the same stages and shit would happen to them, but it was more so of a like a real curse thing than it was like just being cursed by a videotape. It was just they would be cursed in, you know what I'm saying, in a different way. So it was the same concept, which I thought was dope. The same shit happening, the girl coming up from the well and all that shit, which of course was dope. So all of that kind of stuck, you know what I'm saying, the way it was supposed to. Um but with this movie in particular, I think that what really kind of had that feel to it that grabbed everybody was just the fact that how many times have you been kicking it with your friends and y'all went to go get a movie and be like, yo, this shit's scary. Like turn the lights off. Let's watch this shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all done pop some popcorn. Or you done had a bunch of friends over, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got girls, the girls come over, you know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be y'all time to, you know what I'm saying, sneak a little cuddle, sneak a little kiss. You know how it used to be back in the day.
Mhm.
and then the scary movie come on, you hoping that she jump up into you, or same thing at the movies, whatever. It's just that kind of vibe. Like even when it's going to the girls, you know what I'm saying, the girls that watch it initially, and you know what I'm saying, they all kicking it, they having like a little slumber party slash sleepover thing, and they like, yo, you ever heard of this? You ever heard of this video that's supposed to kill you after you watch it? They like, man, shit ain't real, man. Put that shit in. Let's watch it. You know what I'm saying? We've at that time we all had those moments. We all were, you know what I'm saying? We've all been over somebody's house to where we all watching, you know, Friday the 13th, or we watching, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street or some shit to try to scare us. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a good, for us, it's a good time. But then to find out that you watch this shit, and then next thing you know, you ain't gonna be here next week, you know, that shit ends up
Yeah.
sucking. So it's like, god damn. But I just appreciate what they kind of did for the culture, because it was much needed. We talk a lot about how certain movies come and they kind of change the horror genre for us, and they kind of like revive it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Talk about Scream, talk about Blair Witch Project, and a couple others, but this one for sure, especially it being 2002, um we were at like the height of being scared. You know what I'm saying? You had Y2K, then you had 9/11 and a whole bunch of other shit. So to bring this shit out with this Japanese lady climbing out of a well on TV, and then to climb out your goddamn TV, was already, you know what I'm saying, something that was just, it was pushing the edge closer and closer to you, to where you was ready to fall off. So I thought it was dope for them to be able to put that together around this time.
True, but this is the second time where we stole a Japanese movie. You know what I'm saying? Because they did that shit with The Grudge.
Yep.
Um, and
Yeah.
then the wild part is that like The Grudge and the Japanese version, like it was like a year apart. Like them
Hmm.
shits came out like back to back, which was
Hmm.
weird. But but nah, like even like going back and like thinking about like Samara's family was fucking dysfunctional as fuck. Like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? The moms, you know, she's this horse trainer. Well, no, she's not a horse trainer. Like she, you know what I'm saying? She rode horses in
Question.
competition and shit. And so she's a great rider and shit. And she wanted kids, but the husband didn't want kids, thought that she
Mhm.
couldn't have kids. Then they had this kid, and then she turned out to be evil. And then they fucking punishing her, leaving her in a fucking barn and shit where she can't sleep because of the horses making noise. Like, they were some badass parents, yo. Like, and then like the damn lady kills the daughter because it was the whole shit of like the horses was getting sick and like I
Mhm.
like how they were able to. What they did was I got this thing that I say, and the people that know me know I say this all the time. Like, make it make sense.
Exactly.
What they was able to do in this movie is they made it make sense.
Hmm.
Like when you're watching it at first, you don't know because obviously they haven't given you the backstory yet.
Right.
But once you get to watching it and then you get to see step by step, you're starting to learn from the things that you've seen in the tape. You're starting to get like, oh, okay, with the days going by, when it's showing you this is day 4, this is day 5, and it's progressing, and then you start to understand like, oh shit, and then you get the backstory of Samara, and you're like, yo, these motherfuckers was fucked up. Like,
Hmm.
I see why this girl is fucking mad and want to kill people. But like even though like her whole thing was like obviously she's really she's a taker of souls, really.
Yeah.
Like she's just like even when they talked to her like the real girl before, you know what I'm saying, her mom's you killed her and put her in a well, the moms thought she killed her. That's the
Yeah.
whole point of understanding why it takes 7 days for you to die is because the mom put a bag over her head, thought that she suffocated her till death, but she ended up not dying from being suffocated. She ended up basically dying of starvation.
Hmm.
Um, so I can understand when you. I think this girl was supposed to have been maybe 10, maybe I think
Hey, time out.
somewhere around there.
Yeah, but come on, bro. At 10, my mom couldn't have tried to kill me, bro.
Yeah. Well, when they showed it, like she didn't know she came up from behind her. She was just looking in the well, and boom, there's a bag over your head. You know
Nah,
what I
for
mean?
sure. But I'm saying, like, that my
Okay.
mom couldn't have got that off at 10 with me, bro.
Yeah, but you a boy too, man. Like, I mean, we just talk about a little fragile girl, man.
Nah,
Like,
man, nah, bro. See, this is the thing, man. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I laugh like with certain movies, bro. Because like a lot of movies, I imagine like little black kids being in them. The stuff we had to go through as black kids. Like I was home alone at like 8, 7, 8 a lot. You know what I'm
well,
saying?
all of us was.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, so you know what I'm saying? We had to grow up a little bit faster. And you know what? I take that back. And it's not just black kids. Let me stop saying that because I think that's just like 80s and 90s kids in general. A lot of us had to be at home alone, bro, a lot in our lives. So we had to mature and grow up a little bit faster than these kids do today. And if my mom would have came behind me and tried to smother me with a plastic bag, first and foremost, I'm poking a hole in the bag and rip me out the plastic. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to act brand new. I'm going to use all the karate that I learned from Bruce Lee on my mom. Okay? Because are you fucking serious, bro?
Hey, you was wildin', man. Look, man,
Seriously,
that movie.
real question. At 10 years old, you think your mom could have took you out?
Well, this is the thing. Normal moms
Mm-hmm.
probably no, but my mom, yeah, she definitely would took me out.
You think your mom, if you was looking in the well, could have came up behind you, right? Put the bag over
Yeah,
your
I'm
head
listening.
and then suffocated you and then threw you in the well at 10 years old and you would have let that go down.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
Y'all don't know my mom.
No,
First
listen,
off,
I'm
yo,
with you. My mama's a badass too.
my mom, like, dude, I've heard legendary. First of all, I heard legendary stories of my mom, like,
Mhm.
just completely beating up dudes. Like,
I hear you. I hear you.
but this, I'm gonna tell you why though. So
Hmm.
there was one time I was probably about 10, about 9, 10
Hmm.
years old, because I went to stay with my dad when I was 11. So she was trying to rearrange the living room and shit. So she was like, "Son, move that couch or that chair, or whatever, over there, right?"
Hmm.
And so like the chairs back then, they're a whole lot more sturdier and heavy. They used to use real wood in the you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, in the chairs and shit
First,
back
it
then.
was no joke.
So I'm trying to move this chair, dude.
Hmm.
I'm talking about this motherfucker move like a centimeter. Like I'm struggling with this shit.
Yeah.
My guy. My mama came over here, gave me like one of these, right?
Hmm.
Just look, she didn't move the chair.
Pick that
She
motherfucker.
lifted it off the ground, walked across the living room, and sat the shit down aggressively because I couldn't move it. So she got mad at me because I couldn't move the chair.
See? Yeah, that's not. I don't know,
Yeah,
man. My mom could have. Nah. I'm not.
yeah,
Don't get me wrong. I
yeah.
seen my mom do some shit too. Where I was like, okay, but let me tell you something about me. Okay, I watched enough Bruce Lee movies to know that it's two things you can't stop. You can't stop the 5 finger punch, and and you can't stop the one thing where you jump up and stump you to death, and then twist his feet to crack your sternum. You can't stop them two moves. He always do the moves. They always work. I watched enough of those movies to at least think I knew how to do both of them perfectly. So also being a child who my mom used to always make me watch horror movies, I always knew that if you run from the person trying to kill you, you usually don't survive. The dude that fights back is always the person that usually survives. So if she had me with the plastic bag, first off, I'm taking two middle fingers. I'm gonna rip it open just so I could breathe. Cause I know, you know what I'm saying? If I rip it off, then she gonna take it off. And now I just got a plastic bag on my head. You know what I'm saying? I'm already at a disadvantage because I ain't gonna be able to see her. You know what I'm saying? Boom, bust it open. I could breathe now. Once I get my oxygen intake, you know what I'm saying? I could possibly, you know, do a move to flip her, you know what I'm saying, on the ground. Take the plastic bag off my head, and then Bruce Lee jump onto her sternum, twist the feet, bow, she out of here. Or rip the bag, right? roll up under, I break away 5 feet of that part. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro. But you gotta know these things, man. At 10 years old, bro, you come on, man. You gotta know your left
Yo,
from your right.
you funny. You funny as fuck.
I'm just saying, bro, mom ain't taking me out by suffocation at 10 years old, bro. She got to think harder than that.
Well, anyway, mom didn't take her out.
Mhm.
Mom thought she did, threw in as well. But the whole point of where I was going was, can you imagine if you 9, 10 years old or whatever, and you sitting in this well, my guy, no food, you can't climb out this bitch. Like the
Fuck
shit
no,
that's
bro.
going through your mind.
I ain't see a well till I was like 17. The fuck? Hey,
no.
man. Hold on, time out. Nah, man. I ain't see a well. I ain't see a real well. Like literally where it's behind somebody's house until I was like 17. I've seen them, of course, like in movies and like at farms and shit, but like behind somebody's house, I never seen. And even then, like I wasn't fitting down that motherfucker. It was like a little well. It wasn't like you know what I'm saying, one of them big ones. You probably seen more wells than I have. You
Dude,
live
I was
in the
just
country.
about to say, yo, I was looking for a spot one time, and I ended up not, like me and my ex ended up not going there because like they use well water,
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't want no damn well water,
Nah, yeah, you don't want that shit.
like hell nah. So like yeah, I've seen a well. I don't remember how young I was the first time I seen one, but nah, I'm just saying like psychologically, like I understand why, you know what I'm saying, like her whole thing was like, yo, like, well, obviously, if you've seen the movie, you know the trick. The whole trick is you have to copy the tape and
Yeah.
show somebody else the tape. So basically, what you have to do is you just got to sacrifice somebody. So my
Yeah,
question to you is,
fucked up.
when you copy that tape, do you got a name in mind who you showing the tape to?
That's fucked up. Yeah, that's fucked up, bro.
Hey,
I ain't mad at it, but that's fucked up.
hey, that girl was hot. You don't leave that girl down there for 7 days. Yo, that girl was mad as fuck. But
Bro, I'm just saying that, like, I don't know, man. That's I don't know. That's just weird to me, bro. Like, first and foremost, you know that eventually somebody's gonna come to this well to get some water. And you throw her down there. That don't even cross your mind, like, oh shit, what if somebody gotta go get some water? You just fuck it, ain't nobody coming up here.
no, but then think about this though. The people that's been drinking that water, there's a dead girl down there.
That's what I'm saying.
You could be sick as fuck and don't know
Yeah,
why.
that too. That's what I'm saying. That too, like, first and foremost, you done poison the water. Then you done killed your daughter. And you don't even give a fuck if somebody come down there to find him.
Well, she ended up not really caring because she ended up killing herself. You know what I'm saying? Not too much longer after. So,
Well,
from jumping off of a cliff or whatever.
yeah.
But nah, but on the real though, like first of all, the weird relationship between Rachel and her son, and
Mhm.
even her ex Noah, like they, you don't, like when she bring him up, and then first of all, Noah was on some bullshit because Noah was like, yo, when she showed him the tape. She didn't want to show him. She's like, I don't think it's a good idea. He's like, oh man, I don't believe in that shit. Like, just show me the tape. So he really kind of had to get it out of her. But then when the girl came over and she took the tape and she was like, and she said, I don't want her to see the tape. He's like, you had no problem with me seeing the tape. She was like, yes, the fuck I did. Like, you just kind of like said you didn't believe and you forced me to do it.
Mhm.
But her and Aiden's relationship was weird because he called his mom Rachel. Like,
That was not uncommon though.
I mean, in my family, it's not. I'm the only person like in my family that call my mom because my um my grandmother on my mom's side, everybody called her mom, and they called their moms by their first name, basically, or well, at least they nickname. But like it was just wild to like see how he would just look her dead in her face and be like, "Okay, Rachel," and just be like, "That's wild." But like the whole thing with like Rachel being this journalist who not really getting any stories. Basically, Rachel got fucking fired in this movie, and she just didn't quit. Well, not quit, but she just didn't leave. Like she told, like her boss man came up to her and was like, "Rachel, like you're fired," and she was like, "No, I'm not." He was like, "Yes, you are," and she's like, "No, I'm not." It's like I got a story, so I'm cooking up the story, and it's a good one. And then he's like, "Well, what is the story?" And she just kind of like waved him off. But the whole point of like using your niece and her friends to basically like keep your job, like that's crazy. Like like I don't know if she was gonna like once she found out everything that happened,
Mm-hmm.
because that's a conversation to have with your sister. Like it seemed like her and her sister had a good relationship, but you gonna ruin you and your sister's relationship to put the story out. I don't think she ended up not putting the story out, but for her to do the investigation that she was doing, dude, she had more. I mean, this is another thing. I don't even remember seeing a cop in this movie. Like,
What was the cop gonna do?
but this is the thing. First of all, there's a dead body. All right, now they said that her heart stopped,
Mm-hmm.
but for her face to look the way that it looks, obviously there's some weird shit going on here. But like, she like in less than but like right after the funeral, this bitch had like all the information that she needed. You know what I'm saying? By going up to the friends and
Yeah, that
getting
was
the
weird
story.
too. That was weird as fuck to me too. Like, how you just get all of this information? They just bust down and just told you everything. Nah, that's suspect.
Well, I mean, really, all they really told her was, you know what I'm saying? That, well, they knew that she went to the up to the mountains or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but she was just like, yo, well, remember she found the thing for the pictures, back in the
Yeah.
day, y'all, you would take pictures and you had to go to the pharmacy to get them developed and
Mm-hmm.
all that type of shit. So she found that joint. But the girl was like, yo, like she went up there with a boyfriend who went from another school or whatever. And then the other guy, shout out to Adam Brody, he was like, yo, like she watched this tape and you know what I'm saying, that you would die in 7 days or some shit. She was like, so you seen the tape? He was like, well, obviously I'm here, so I didn't see the tape.
Yeah, that's just stupid.
Everybody thought that shit was funny. But but like so she get the information, she find out everybody died at fucking 10 p.m. and all this type shit. But it was just like there was like I mean, you're right. I don't know what the police would have investigated, but it was just wild that this reporter was able to get all this information, put all this shit together. You know what I'm saying? Get her hands on the tape by just basically going to the cabin that they was at.
Mm-hmm.
And my man was just like, ain't no good service out here. So people just, what I'm saying, you watch the movies that are here or whatnot. And so she get the tape, watches the shit. But it was just what I appreciate about it was, like I said, how they was able to put all this shit together. Like, come to find out, like, to actually go to the up in the mountains and be in the actual cabin and watch the tape
Mm-hmm.
in the actual cabin where she was at. Like, they put a cabin over the well that she
Mm-hmm.
was in, and for them to um like the whole scene where her and Noah was in there and they got Noah got frustrated. He threw that thing of marbles down, and all the marbles went into the floor into the one spot. And then they was
Mm-hmm.
able to find out that it was under there. I just like the way that they drew a line to everything. Like
You
for
know what
me,
though?
they didn't leave nothing unturned.
I like the fact that because they were in that spot too, that she was able to come out to TV and do all that shit. That makes it doper now. Like, cause when I first seen this, I never understood the whole thing about her coming out to TV until I
Mm-hmm.
realized that yeah, that's where she, you know what I'm saying, was supposed to be, quote unquote, I guess well, you can't really say buried, but
What? No, remember when she came out the TV? It was at Noah's house, well, apartment or whatever he had. Apartment,
oh,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Why were you thinking it was at the cabin?
Well, they left the cabin because remember she was down in the well in the
Right.
ambulance. They had to get her out because remember she thought it was over,
Yeah.
but then she remembered that she was like, "Why? No. This was after. This was after. This was after." Well, she realized. Well, oh, her Aiden was having a conversation, and he
Hmm.
was like, "You helped her," and she was like, "Yeah." He was like, "She never sleeps." Like she's never gonna stop. And she raised up his shirt and saw that the handprint was on his hand. And
Hmm.
so she thought that it was over for everybody, but it was just over for her
Yeah.
because she fucking, watched the tape or whatever. But Noah watched it a day after she did. So yeah,
Hmm.
it went past her seventh day, but then her eighth day was Noah's seventh day. And
Right.
so yeah, he was at his house, well, his condo or whatever, and
Hmm.
that's when she came out the TV. But I think that was like, even though like, well, watching it back then, that shit was scary as fuck. Like when she came out the TV and she was standing there, and then
Yeah.
like she like it like kind of like blinked and like she got like real close to him and that motherfucker fell
Mhm.
back. Yo, that shit was scary as fuck to me. I mean, watching it now, you can see the CGI and how it's not really real
I
and all that type of stuff.
mean, okay. This nigga was there long enough to watch this thing come out the TV.
Yeah. Well, okay, but put it this way though. You tell me, okay, now I know what we're doing. I get it. I'm talking hypothetically.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you know how it is watching a car accident. Like you, a lot of people get mesmerized for some fucking dumbass reason where they
I
can't take their eyes off of it. So
I
he
agree.
was like stuck.
No,
Like, wait a minute. Like,
no, no, it's not the same thing. That's not the same.
look, I tried.
Usually, usually when you watching a car accident, you're not in the car accident, right? Or when you watching a car accident, like say if you watching a car accident and the car is coming at you, you're not looking at it like, oh shit, and then waiting for the car to get close to you to try to move. You getting the fuck up out of there. You gonna keep watching it, but you gonna move before the car, you know what I'm saying, gets to that point, especially when you realize that it's coming out, or coming to you. This nigga seen this bitch get out the TV, stand there and blink, and then it jumped at him. He, no, get the fuck out the house, bro. The motherfucker is crawling out of it. If a little wet girl crawls out of your TV right now, are you gonna be just sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? Oh my god, what is this? No, you might not never come back to that house.
No, no,
You know
no.
what I'm saying? That house might be up for sale tonight.
Granted, yes, I would have been out of that house. Like
I'd
I
have been
wouldn't
up
even have
there.
seen her crawl out the TV. I would have
Ex-
been like, yo, this person is walking to the screen and the shit look a little funny.
Or
I'm
just
out of
turn
here.
that shit off. Midway when she crawling out, turn that motherfucker off, unplug it. See what happens then. I don't know, but you can't just be standing there watching. Hey, I want to know if they would have cut it off, what would have happened?
I think it would have been the same situation as like when we watching like some of these other movies where like the TV, like even though you see them unplug it, like the TV still comes on. I think it would have been one of those type situations because I
Mm,
think that that's what makes it scarier. Like when you watching a movie and you see like in this involving a TV and they turn the TV off, but that bitch turn back on, they go and unplug
mhm.
it and it still come on. That's the shit that make you say, "Oh, all right, like now, like this is real. This what takes it to
See,
the next level
this
because
is
you've
why
seen it unplugged."
I agree. This is why sometimes, man, I be wanting to be in some of these writing rooms and to just, what I'm saying, help throw out ideas because I think what really would have made that scene dope is if he would have cut the TV off and she would have fell like she would have got like cut in half and fell from the TV, right?
Yeah,
Like that half of the body was still there. So like of course he gonna stay there because he can't believe it. He not leaving no time soon. And then he finally leave and be like, yo, you won't believe what the fuck happened. And they come back and then it's just a puddle of water. He's like, nah, she was there. They think he crazy. He turned the TV back on this time. This bitch right at the TV. She just jump out at him. That shit would have been fire. You talking about? I think that would have been way better than the whole blinking thing and him watching her just come out the TV, just sitting there not doing nothing. I feel like that would have built up that anticipation a little bit more.
I get that. I get that. I'm not mad at that at all. But I think that because like my whole thing is it's like when you watching it, it's like, yo, dude, why are you crawling around? Because for me, take the way that they did it, right? How
Yeah,
she jumped at him or whatever, and he
yeah.
fell. Let's say he got up and took off running. As soon as he went to that damn garage, not garage, but that elevator joint,
Hmm.
she was just bam, just popped up in his face and did the whole little
But
shit
she
to
was
fuck his
already in
face
the
up.
elevator.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But like, and I know crawling makes it a little bit more dramatic or whatever,
Crawling
but
make it scarier. I ain't gonna lie to
yeah,
you.
but I think it would have been as equally as scary as the fact of like you're running and she just pops up on
Yeah,
you
she
in the
popped up.
damn
Like
elevator
she was
and just
crawling, and next thing you know, you get there, she there. You like, oh shit, you can't escape. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Would have been dope. That would have really been dope. Like made a whole like, you know what I'm saying, anxious scene out of it. That would have been fire, bro. For
yeah,
sure. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I don't know, man. I'm starting to, I'm starting to want to get in some of these writing rooms, man. You know what I'm saying? When this writer strike is over, I'm gonna try to sneak in one of these rooms because I got some ideas, man.
I'm
That'll
with you,
make
man.
some
I
of this
do too.
shit better. Yeah, it'll really make some of this shit better. Don't get me wrong. The ring was great though. Um, only like I said, only because of everything that was kind of going on, it had that nostalgic feeling to it. But I think what also made it that much better was the fact that you had that moment where you were seeing these people do something that was so common, right? Like you seen these people that was doing something at the time that was just like some regular shit, right? Like if they would imagine, like if they would have just used like just the telephone part, they never would have did the television part. They just would have used the telephone part. I think it still would have been as scary just because this is something that we do every day. And you know what I'm saying? Like you just get the call and it tells you, you like the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like they could
Mhm.
have it could have been any of those things that just would have made this movie, you know what I'm saying, just as good, only because this was something that people do all the time without even thinking twice about it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Just putting the tape in, watching the tape, you know what I'm saying? Like sitting back and chilling and watching TV. Can't even watch TV without getting killed. That's crazy.
yeah. That would, yeah. That's changing a lot, especially me. It's changing my
Yeah,
life forever.
for sure. You know what I'm saying? You can't do nothing. So before we get up out of here though, quick question.
So
Because you mentioned earlier about how the generations kind of, um are detached from this movie and they don't really understand the scary value in this movie.
okay.
What because I have a way that they could remake this actually and make it just as good. And I think they already kind of tried to do it. It just didn't hit the same because of the stories in these just weren't as good. But how do you think they could take this and make it and put a modern twist on it to make it, you know what I'm saying, to have that same feel of 2002 when this came out?
Well, I mean, it definitely makes it tougher because that's just like they did like the VHS movies didn't come out too long ago.
Yeah.
But the thing is that the only way to beat it is you have to spread it, and it's like we can't use YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, it's like everything is streaming now. And
Hmm.
it's very difficult to try to make a movie like this in modern time because like we don't do the snowy white screen no more.
Right.
Don't nobody do VHS no more. Shit, it's to the point a lot of people don't even do DVDs anymore.
They don't.
So The only thing I could think of is, oh well, damn, I did not think of that. It's like basically like it's a link. You watch the link, you get the
Great
phone
minds think alike.
call, and
Hey,
you
great
just sit
minds
like you
think
have to send the link. You have to copy the link and then send the link to somebody else. Like,
yeah, great mind thinking like that's exactly what I was about to say. I was about to say, bro, if they did it to where they had a link, right, and like this was a link that was getting passed around through high school, because I mean it already make perfect sense. You already doing this on your phone, so you get the link. You know what I'm saying? You watch the video or whatever, it pop up, you watch it. The next thing you know, your phone ring, and you like, hello, and they like,
7 days.
you like, get the fuck off my phone playing, man. Next thing you know, all this shit happened. You like, then you died. That shit would be so fire, bro. I think they could possibly do this movie again. This is
Yeah, now that I say that, now that I
yeah,
said it, because now everything is open.
yeah.
Like this bitch can
You
crawl
know
out a
what?
tablet now. She can crawl out your phone now. Like,
That's what I was just about to say. It's so many devices now. Like I feel like it'd be even be harder because now, like, how the fuck do you escape this shit? Because like it could be on your TV, it could be on your phone, it could be on your tablet, it could be on your laptop or your computer, it could be on shit, it could be on the screen at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? You go there to order a Big Mac, next thing you know, the ring pop up. You're like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Now you in McDonald's tripping, they think you crazy. You leave out of McDonald's, boom, get hit by a car, some shit like that. Like that's the type of shit that to me they could really modernize this too. But also, what I think would have been dope is because you said YouTube. I think that really would be fire. That would
the
really be fire if they used it through YouTube. Oh my goodness, that would be crazy.
yeah, yeah, it would be because it would also have to be a point where it's like if you start it and it's like, yo, this crazy. Like if you try to X out of it or try to pause it and it won't.
Don't do
Like
nothing.
it just stay on there and it's like you
Yeah,
ain't got no
the
choice.
phone freeze. You can't power it down and nothing. That yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. I think that should be hard, bro. It's
Yeah.
definitely a way for them to take this and redo it, man. It see shit like this suck. The fact that what I'm saying, like right now because of the strike and stuff, you can't really uh they can't really do too much of anything. That's bad right now. I think, but I honestly think like this would rival. Hold on, what? I'm sorry, breaking news. You know that they got a Napoleon movie coming out on Thanksgiving?
Yeah. But it's called Thanksgiving Day or something like that.
No, not that. It's a
Okay. Because
movie.
there's a Thanksgiving Day horror movie coming out.
Yeah, I seen that too. No,
Okay.
this is legit a Napoleon. The movie is called Napoleon. It's starring Joaquin
Oh.
Phoenix. It comes out on Thanksgiving. It's about Napoleon Bonaparte.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
I gotta go see that. Okay. I'm sorry. It just flashed up on the screen. I'm like, what the fuck? So anyway, but I really think that this would be the perfect time for them to find a way to incorporate something like this, even if they made it like a part of the franchise. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if they just didn't do a remake and they just made it like a part of the franchise, I think this would be one. If they do it right, this would be one of the ones that definitely set everything apart for sure.
Yeah, man. Samara comes up with the time, so don't nobody watch VHS no more. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fuck y'all up for real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be hard.
that'd be dope. That'd be
But
dope.
that's
And keep her a kid though. Don't
yeah.
give her a growth spurt. Keep her a kid.
No, well, she can't grow. That's crazy. Giving her growth
Remember,
spurt is wild.
Jason did.
I mean, yeah, but I'm saying like, like to me, you ruin everything because now like she too big to get out of the TV. It's too much. It's too much. And then to have a dead person grow up is even crazier. That's already a fucking stupid idea. Hey, that's wild, bro. That you just said that. Now that I'm thinking about it. To have a grown ass ghost, like when you seen her last time she was a kid, now she's a grown up. Nah, bro.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, you had that's way too much shit to explain. That's way too much shit to explain. Um, Damn, what was I about to say before you said that? Man? God, oh man, I don't even know where I was going just now. That's crazy. That really got me. I'm sorry. That's fucking hilarious. That's yeah. Nah, they can't have her grow up. Oh, you mentioned like VHS, and it's another movie called like The Rose or something like that, where they kind of had the idea of using like this I guess it was like a website or something you had to go to on your phone, and then you die after that. Like it's been movies that tried to copy this um that tried to copy this blueprint
Mhm.
and use it in a modern way. I just think that because you already have the story of the ring, you already have background to use it. If they take it and use it, you know what I'm saying, and incorporate that in, I think it'll be way better for them. And I think you'll get a better movie because there's so much story that's out there now. Because it's like what? It's a ring too, right?
Yeah, there's a ring too. Yep.
Yeah. So I think this would be a great way for them to like get that third movie off for sure. And go ahead and make that thing a franchise. That would be dope.
Yep.
Uh
I ain't mad at that idea.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because this was a pretty good movie. So let's go ahead and get into the Fire Flames, man.
Let's do it.
Yoga fire. Yoga flame.
That was quick. Uh what you got?
Um, when you look at the cast, man, Naomi Watts, especially at this time, man, she was on the run. She was in a lot of shit at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Henderson, I think he's really good. Brian Cox, you know what I'm saying? It was a pretty good cast. Um, like I said, I think the story with answering everything that we needed answers to, tying everything together. I think they did a really, really good job with that. I think for 2002, I think that the whole way of like how she looked like when she came out the screen, like doing the whole shit, doing the puddle of water, doing the water coming out of the phone, had the TV sweating and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought all that shit was dope.
Right.
But I'm gonna give this, and for what it means, I'm gonna give the Ring a 4. I think they did a really, really good job. I think the element of surprise is why I feel like Ring One is better than Ring Two.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I've always fucked with this movie, so I'm gonna give it a 4.
I am going to have to agree with you. For me, mainly because when this movie came out, it was such a it was really a one of a kind movie. There wasn't too. I don't really remember a movie at around this time that came out before it that had that, that cursed what I'm saying, like that cursed theme to it. And I think what was also what also set this movie apart too was the fact that usually when we see like slashers, or usually when we see usually any kind of movie, horror movie, it's usually using like teenagers or like younger adults, like college age or whatever. This is really like a mom and the kid, which I think Chucky kind of did the same thing, but Chucky more so focused on the kid than it did the actual mom. This was more so like pointed towards the mom, um, her being a journalist and everything else. Like it all fit together. You know what I'm saying? They made it fit perfectly. And then to be able to take it from the original and, you know what I'm saying, redo it at that time in a modern way was it was everything was just perfect. It all came together. It was some stuff in there that I was just like, I'm kind of cool on, but what's up?
So sorry that I didn't research this before, but they did do a third movie. Came out 2017. That's called Rings, and
Oh, that is right.
Yeah, and the girl
Right.
watched it on her laptop.
Yeah, I forgot
So
about Rings. Dang.
yeah, yep. So they did do a modern day version
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Ring. Yeah, and the girl lay. I just saw a thing where the TV was laying on the ground. The girl was crawling out the ground in the TV because she had the
Yeah.
TV flat, but
Right.
like she just raised up the TV and crawled out that bit. So they did do a third one called Rings in 2017.
I forgot about that, man. Okay, well, maybe next time then. Maybe we could come up maybe come up with something else for a different movie. Ain't no I gotta go watch Rings to see how they put that together because that's actually interesting. Um, yeah, but I like I said, man, I agree with you. I give it a 4, man. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's get into coming soon.
Let's do it.
Coming soon to own on video and DVD.
All right. So this next one is
Oh well, but hold on. Before you do this,
mhm,
now because we took a week off, this is gonna be the last part of the month. So
yeah.
we gonna scratch the last movie for Fear Fest.
I mean, not necessarily. We don't have to.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because technically, this ain't really. It's not really scary,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. It once you watch it, I think you'll have an appreciation for it. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? It's in that same vein of Nightmare Before Christmas. Um, I believe it's kind of made by the same animators and people too, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but when I first seen this movie, my little sister was watching this, and I was like, "What are we watching?" And she was like, "It's this movie." And as I was watching it, I was like, "Yo, this movie is actually dope." There's some things about this movie that, as an adult, rewatching this, hey, they really put together some something. They put something together. Um, I don't want to really give what I think about this movie until we actually get into the episode. So I save my thoughts on it. But the movie we're going to be covering is Coraline. If you've never seen Coraline, go watch it. I promise you, it's a real good movie. Um, you can watch it with your kids, of course, because it's an actual kids movie. It's supposed to be a kids movie. But this is dope, man. This is one of those ones that it has a bunch of elements from different things and they kind of mesh them all together well. They put the ingredients together uh, and made something delicious out of this one, man. So I know you said you haven't seen this before,
Hmm.
but trust me when I tell you, when you watch this, you are going to be like, okay, this shit is dope. This ended up becoming one of those movies that I really fuck with. So y'all get ready for that, man. Next episode is going to be on Coraline. Um, and if you enjoyed this movie, I'm sorry if you enjoyed this episode. If you didn't enjoy this episode, if you too still have a VHS and a VCR and it's somehow hooked up and it works, hit us up and let us know. Tell us all about it. On our socials on Instagram and Twitter, or Instagram and X, I'm sorry, at View and Non Pod. You can hit us up on Facebook, VA Pod Watch Group. You can also hit us up on X and join our community where we talk about movies and television all day as Viewers Anonymous. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe and get the paid episodes. It's only $2.99 a month. Um, we got some heat. We really
Oh
got
yeah.
some heat. You know what I'm saying? And we would like for you to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? Jump in and be a part of it. That way, when other people talk about it, and they be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a Viewers Anonymous," paid listener, and they be like, "What?" They don't know what's going on, but you do. You know what I'm saying? Be different. Um, and if you'd like to follow me, you can follow me on X at Scoots Bronson. I have a link tree in my bio. You can find me everywhere else there.
And y'all can find me at s.foster8 on Instagram and on Twitter, or X, at 28 minutes or less pod. That's just on IG. Follow the podcast 28 minutes or less. Last episode is still 137, I believe, which is a history of horror part 2. So go check that out on all major platforms.
Cool, man. And with that being said, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching and thank you guys for tuning in. Your support is always greatly appreciated. And I believe this is the last episode of the Fright Fest, right?
Yep.
Yeah, man.
It's the
So
end of the month.
yeah, thank you guys for you know what I'm saying, joining along this ride with us. Even though I had it wrong in the beginning, I got it right at the end. So this is the conclusion of Fright Fest 2023. It's been fun. We got some other stuff coming up, of course, but you know, this one was a blast, man. So until then, like they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap.
Cut.